Hey, welcome back to the Backyard Professor Chess videos. It is time to open up a new chess video in the chess neighborhood. Won't you be my neighbor? Yes, you will. Hey, I have a great game out of Artur Yusupov's chess course, Boost Your Chess Beyond the Basics. This is the number 2 volume, of which no, I have not made it all the way through yet. Yes, I am enjoying several of the games and the ideas that he is talking about. What do we do? What do we do, I ask you? Sorry, I'm supposed to be serious. Okay. Now, class. Well, maybe not that serious. Okay. We have a chessboard here. Yeah, just swift, dude. Real swift. This is the Moscow Team Championship. 1966, I was just 5 years old. Between Yudovich and Mikhail Botvinnik. I think Botvinnik is one of the underappreciated grandmasters and world chess champions, actually. This is a great little game to demonstrate what do we do. And of course, there's thousands of ways to handle this. We're going to explore how Botvinnik handled this situation we're about to see occur to him. What do you do when your opponent gets a strong center? How do we, if not eliminate the opponent's strong center, how do we manage it, perhaps? How do we keep it in check so that it doesn't come steamrolling over us? Because there's a simple geometry to a most complex game we call chess based on the structure. And there's millions of examples of this, I am so not exaggerating, of ways that opponents get trounced because they didn't manage the opponent's central power. So we're going to see a chance, and you can see that Yudovich is going for the oomph. He really wants to control the center. And Botvinnik is opening compactly, strongly. He's not wasting any moves or nothing. Botvinnik never wasted moves. He is one of the great chess grandmasters to study without question. Yudovich is obviously building up quite the center, and then something remarkable happens. Queen to b6. And Yusupov asks, okay, at this point, we want to see why on earth would you bring your queen out so early? It's relatively early in the game. It does two things, and this is how Botvinnik wants to, well, he always played this way because he was so good. One, it does hit the b2. So either the b2 has to move now or you have to protect it. The second nice thing, because Yudovich has such a great center here, he's got a target right there. So he's hitting two. One of them is a central pawn. Now, he's not going to take it with the queen, of course. Not yet. But now, because he has a target, he's preventing this pawn from moving forward. For sure, you can see that. Otherwise, Yudovich would lose his bishop. So, as a general rule, which all general rules can and will be broken in chess, you gotta play with care bringing out your queen this early. Although there's nothing truly threatening the queen. And I sincerely doubt Yudovich is going to do something silly like this just to simply make an empty threat against the queen. Yes, he would protect the pawn with the knight, but no, that's not how to do it. So, I'm just saying. Take care and let's see how Yudovich does this. Rather than bumping the pawn, he pulls the rook. Okay, that's good. Now, watch. This Botvinnik has a compact center, a smaller center, less territory, and so he hits Yudovich's center with an F5 thrust. Let's see the effect of this. It looks like Yudovich really isn't that concerned. He continues propping out his pieces, which is really nice because they will be able to back those pawns if he uses those pawns as a central en masse battering ram. And this is kind of a theme that Botvinnik is attempting to prevent because it can be very hectic in the middle game. It really can. Well, he does knight d7, and that's... Yusupov said there were better, but this is how Botvinnik played this at this point. And Yudovich went ahead and took the f-pawn here, and Botvinnik replied, yes. So, at this juncture, let me move my thumb so I don't lose my place, my hand's cramping. Wah! The pawns are no longer connected in the center. Okay, now that's not a critique. I'm just pointing out stuff. The development, the backup is decent. Botvinnik is not as well developed, but he doesn't technically have any weaknesses either. Kind of interesting, huh? So here's what happens. Once again, Yudovich to the center. A strong, crisp play. There's nothing you can say that doesn't make that a strong, crisp play. Now, Botvinnik has moved his knight. He will proceed to move that knight again to f6, I do believe. And now, what this has accomplished for Botvinnik is the e4 square. Now Botvinnik has control of this e4 square back into the pawn. Kind of nice. Really interesting. And now watch what Yudovich does. Okay, first he is consistently, which is nice, he's consistently attempting to one move develop his entire army. That's important. He's not prancing around with one of his knights or zippity-doo-dawing with one of his bishops 3 or 4 moves. No, he's bringing out the whole thing. So this can't be incorrect. However, Botvinnik has noticed something interesting that he's going to pursue. And notice, he's not necessarily either pursuing the center yet with counter thrusts of many pawn moves. He is also bringing out his pieces. Yeah? So, okay now, and this is just too passive. Yusupov says, well, you've got something pretty strong here. I mean, this is your stronghold. Why not pursue this? You've got the edge. Use it. But Yudovich is, if I was playing Botvinnik, I'd be pretty timid too. So It's too passive, and now Botvinnik says, okay, here we go. Now he leaves the option open of castling either side, but again, he's pulling out all of his pieces, backing his pawns that are all connected, whereas, and see, the pawn, I mean, is it backward? It is blocked, right? And that's, I suspect this is why Yusupov says, why not pursue this? You can't connect the two pawns in the center anymore like Botvinnik can, so break up Botvinnik's potential, advance, gain more space, etc. But Yudovich is playing a little bit passive. Yeah. So he castles. Ta-da! Castles! Woohoo! And now Queen comes back down to c7. Now this is cool. What really interests him here is now he comes to knight g5. And Yusupov is saying this gives Botvinnik a chance. It's kind of been dicey, a little bit on the crisp edge, so to speak. Now Botvinnik can roll. The wandering, see, it's an outpost, but it's not connected with any other pieces. It's not as coordinated, anywhere near coordinated, as something of a central campaign could be. And I know I'm talking generalities, but they're important generalities to grasp. He does have a solid center, therefore, technically you're justified in doing a wing attack, but what are you attacking? There's nothing there. So the knight is basically just wandering, and this gives Botvinnik a chance. Now do this. Yeah. So here we go. He has maintained, he's essentially kept up in the development. He hasn't really screwed around with pawn moves or excessive bishop or knight moves, Botvinnik, black. And now he is able to confront Yudovich's center in the center instead of within his own territory. And he's got all pawns. Yeah, at this point this is a backward pawn, but that's correctable. He's not going to be able to prevent that pawn from moving in any way, so it's okay. So now Botvinnik begins to, his timid play is over, more or less. So let's see what happens. Bishop bumps back down to d2, and now queen comes to d6, one step at a time, improving his own center while keeping check on Yudovich's center. And that is Botvinnik's entire theme here. His entire game is centered on that. Good pun, right? Yeah. Whatever! Stop it. Just stop it right now. And now, king h2. Yusupov gave him a question mark and then an exclamation point. And he said, what the? You know? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Centralized knight in an outpost. So, you can see the effect of Botvinnik maintaining almost at a distance, really, but now he's coming up into the center. But he has been maintaining Yudovich. So now Yudovich has to hustle. Well, see? What? 1, 2. That is 2 moves against a Botvinnik in 1962. This game is over. I am not kidding. You don't give Botvinnik 2 moves. No. So, no, hold on. Don't get excited. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, Queen G6. Botvinnik is on the move. The center is... He's not going to exchange the knight. Leave your knight there, because that gives you a magnificent... If he takes the knight, that gives you a magnificent, solid center, right? So Botvinnik is not going to exchange the knight. He's not going to take the bishop. No, the knight serves its great purpose right there on that central outpost, double supported with 2 pawns. That's great. Now he can begin concentrating on the wing, where, again, Yudovich has castled and made a superfluous move with the king, and he's made 2 superfluous moves with the knight. That's 3 superfluous moves. This is why Botvinnik is justified in saying, okay, here I come. See how that works? So let's see. Shut up, quit talking, and show us the game, cowboy. Okay, now the bishop will exchange the e4, and again, he has to get rid of that knight. He may not want to, but really, dude, there's no way you're going to leave that knight there. He's going to put together too strong of a combination. And yet, as such, the better move was the bishop to e1, according to Yusupov. So Yudovich is becoming intimidated with the well, you can see he's shifting. Botvinnik is shifting his pieces over to come up here. Perhaps that was a better move, and bring this bishop up here to protect, right? So anyway, Yudovich is not quite playing this as strong as he could, but then he is against Botvinnik, and now, of course, the F will take it, and look at that pawn chain. Stumping Yudovich's center, having a terrific center yourself. That's a really nice turnabout. And you say, well, yeah, but knight e5. I mean, you know, you're going to say Botvinnik had a good center. Look at that outpost by Yudovich. And that's correct. That is a screaming outpost. So the battle of the center is never over. Notice Botvinnik is not worried about trying to destroy Yudovich's center. Just keep it in check. Maintain, so to speak, which has given Botvinnik a chance because Yudovich monkeyed around just a couple of moves, too. I mean, it's not much, but now he can focus his energy over here. Now watch how Botvinnik controls this. The bishop will take the e5. Yeah? Yeah, and there's no point in Botvinnik letting him have that magnificent central knight any more than Yudovich let Botvinnik have his, right? So this makes sense. And now knight comes to f5. Again, a centralization that has stymied Yudovich's center, and at the same time improved, enhanced, developed his own. This is great chess. Queen f2. He's going to piece by piece, and now look. The center is, for all intent and purposes, closed to any traffic flowing through. Therefore, you logically play on the wings. And here we go. He's going to play on the wings. And now, well, okay, now he's got to get a counter thrust. You can clearly see Botvinnik is in control on this side. Maybe not clearly, but he is. I promise. So get something going here to take away his momentum over here. That's a basic strategy of chess. It really is. That's no joke. And now look, rook g8. So you can kind of see where Botvinnik is planning to break in and break through, and with what pieces? All of the big guns. So this is getting serious. What he's actually threatening is e3. Interesting, isn't it? That's the threat that Botvinnik is eyeing. And Yudovich has to be concerned about that. Technically, he's got the passed pawn. And it can be supported exquisitely well, right? That's why that is such a threat. So, this is getting good. Rook g1, he has to respond to keep this. There's not a lot of support around that king, so he has to kind of try to keep maintain. You don't want to let Botvinnik control that file if you can at all help it, right? And now, once again, he's giving himself a chance. Not only does he stop any counterplay on the wing here with pawn pushes, he gives himself a terrific outpost potential, which will blockade the pawns further in, right? So Botvinnik is getting strong now. Now the game is getting strong. And now here comes the bishop e1. And then the king to f7, every piece in it. Every piece in it. And then b5, now you notice he is trying to get a counter thrust going. This makes sense. He's just a little short on time. Knight e2 is the much better play. Yusupov said that would have been much better. And it would have, because now it brings him into controlling and maintaining a defense, but he didn't do that. So we're gonna have the counterplay at this point, and now the rook to g7. You can see what Botvinnik's gonna plan, don't you? Yeah, he didn't even have to castle to get this exquisite wing going. And the b will take the c6. And he retakes it with the bishop instead of the pawn. And the knight now comes to e2. So he's not playing in the best order, but he is playing hard. And now comes this wicked pawn thrust. It's a great move here. And he just gently bumps back. And now rook a to g8. And you're saying, holy cats, man, that's the Alekan gun with the queen in front instead of the rooks, but still, this is tough. You bump this pawn up. Not only do you support your pawn, but you've got a racket going here against that pawn. That's just holy sweet music, Batman. This is getting really, really rough for poor Yudovich. So he does. Now he's going to thrust for not only space, more space. At this point, it's probably, in Yudovich's mind, it's more important that he pursues space rather than protecting the king. The space can help protect the king instead of getting this poor pawn blocked down somehow. That's more uncomfortable than that. So he pushes, right? And now he takes it en passant, of course. Check. Yeah, he had to have seen that coming. Absolutely. And the bishop will take g3. So it was a good thing that he brought his bishop back here. Now the bishop. And now you look and you go, well, I mean, look, Yudovich's king isn't too bad. I mean, it's not in any real serious danger at this point. It doesn't look like. And you're right. And now, again, you see, when you've controlled your opponent's center and there's nothing wrong in connecting your pawns. You've got this pawn backed up also, but that's a very, very strong center at this point, even though it's just two pawns. And we are approaching the end game here. We're in the late middle game right now. So this is great for Botvinnik, and he is going to try to put pressure on that pawn, absolutely. See, he's still trying to do something counter attack-wise here to get to the center, because so much of his pieces are on defense as opposed to, see, Yudovich can't control Botvinnik's center the way Botvinnik checked Yudovich's center, right? So Yudovich is kind of in trouble here, and if you're in trouble like that, if your opponent's in trouble like that, swap a defender or two. And so he does. Rook will take the g3. Not bad, not bad. Queen will take the c2. Did you see that? The beauty of the queen here was having not only such a good backup with both rooks, putting the pressure against the king side on that file, but he also has this, and now he can gently start eliminating that. Yudovich is in trouble. And now, of course, he has to go. He is trying to trade down. He says, I got to get rid of this power. It's too much. Check. And then he takes the rook, and it's here that Yudovich resigned. Botvinnik is just too coordinated. And he's too strong in the center. He can play dice all day long with this. He truly can. Pressing that pawn, putting pressure on the knight. Where is the knight realistically going to go that's useful? And now you've got two passed pawns coming in. That's brutal. So that is a wonderful lesson from the wonderful Artur Yusupov. I love this series. I don't get in it enough, but the Artur Yusupov series is an excellent series. So there's your chessercise. There's your chess lesson. Thank you, Artur Yusupov. Thank you, Mikhail Botvinnik and Yudovich, for playing this game to leave us some great instructions. In the meantime, remember, the holidays are coming, and holy crap, get the shopping done! Actually, it's not that tough these days with online shopping, but support your local people, right? Also, because the small businesses are having a tough time with these big, huge conglomerates who are going to overtake the economy of the world if we're not careful. Ooh, doggy. Anyway, remember, be good, do well, have fun, be nice, be kind, smile. It doesn't hurt to smile. Remember, Santa Claus is watching, so smile at him too. Santa, hey look, good attitude here. That gets me 3 new gifts in my stocking, right? That's a quid pro quo. I'll smile, you drop the gifts in the... whatever. All right, remember you guys, you're awesome. We're having fun learning chess. We have some great chess games to learn from. Much more coming down the pipeline. We're going to give you a holiday blast. Just lots of chess games, lots of other kind of interesting videos on many different subjects that I'm having fun with. Sacred geometry is another one that I've got some spectacular ideas to share with you that are just fun. So, be good to have fun, thanks, and come again. This is the Backyard Professor. Oh, not the left hand, you moron. Ooh, hit myself. Boy, it's a good thing I never was in the armed services. Thank you for all your efforts, you who are in the armed services. I'm signing off. Believe me, I've had it. And I'm sure you've had it with me too. So, in the meantime, remember, ta-da, or ta-ta, something like that.